What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator with me, the Virtual Mechanic. And today's Boxing Day special project is this Fiat 500. This is the VM Abarth edition, looking pretty sweet. First off, I hope you all had an amazing Christmas, the best day you could have possibly had, and got everything that you wished for. Let's jump into this, though. This is the VM Abarth edition Fiat 500, looking pretty sick. This is a V12 engine stuffed in the back there. There's no trunk on this one. Bit of a homage to the old Fiat 500s, or the older Abarth, should I say, where the engine wouldn't quite close over the engine. We've just removed ours completely because it is a lot bigger. This thing is insane. Let's have a look at it. It is the VM Abarth V12, we've called it there. Looking pretty insane. Almost 200,000 kilometers on it. That's some quite high mileage. We got it from the junkyard. It's in terrible, terrible condition. And obviously, it's got a V12 M158 engine in there with 435 factory horsepower. We will be adding performance parts, making this engine as mental as we can for this little Fiat 500. And then see if we can get this one in the top 10 on the speederboard. Did I get a good deal? 4,456 is what I paid for it. And I could sell it for 5,203, making a profit of 747. That's not bad at all. What a good place to start. Quite pleased with that. This Fiat is in awful condition, looking very sorry for itself. So let's get it started. Let's get it over to the car wash. Let's get it cleaned up. Here we are with our little Fiat 500 in the car wash. Let's get it cleaned and see what colour it is underneath all this dust and grime. Hopefully a semi-decent colour. Not that we're going to keep it anyway. I've made a livery for this one. Nothing too special, just something little. What is that in there? Can't even tell. It looks like a seatbelt clip. What is that? Don't know. Quite like it, though. But let's get the interior cleaned, get it back on the lift, and start getting everything ripped out of this beautiful little Fiat. The little 500's up in the air. Let's check for the oil pan. Under we go. There is no oil pan. There is a lot missing from this engine, so that doesn't surprise me at all. We have got nothing on this side, but we do have the rear wheel and drive axle on this side. So we need to get this one off and ready to get that gearbox out of there. So let's just whip it out of here. There we go. That's that wheel and drive axle out nice and simple. We are missing a starter. I am just going to add that to my shopping list now so I don't forget it. And then we'll get that gearbox out of there. One rusty bolt. Not too bad at all. This is a rear wheel drive Fiat 500. It has been modified ever so slightly. We have disc brakes all around ready to go onto this one. So let's get that big old block of an engine out of there. Let's get you back down. And let's get stuck on the quarter panel again. I'm making a habit of that. Over we go, and let's get this beast of a V12 out of here. Out you come. Nice and easy. That is what we like. And what have we got in the engine bays for this car? Well, we do actually have the bottom part of the air filter and nothing else. We have some exhaust sections down here, a large intercooler up here, and that's it for the back. Let's jump up the front. We've got a wishy-washy reservoir, an ECU Type B up there, and a battery. Obviously, we don't have them. They are actually missing. All of that is missing. We do have the fuel tank, but we are missing a fuel pump. So I'm going to get all of that sorted, get the rest of this stripped out. We'll come back to the bodywork before we head over to the paint shop to see what I'm going to do with my beautiful little Fiat 500 today. That's everything mechanical, repaired, replaced, or upgraded, ready to go back on the Fiat 500. But now we need to sort out this bodywork, which is definitely looking very sorry for itself. So let's get it all stripped off. Out with the hood. I know that that front end piece is apart. We got a front bumper down there. What else have we got? Nothing in there, nothing in there. There is no trunk. That's a rear bumper. That's a rear window. I don't think anything else is that. That's a quarter panel window. And I think that is maybe it. We will get that steering wheel out of there. Just one piece of the interior. Out you come. Let's see if I did get everything. 1%, that's a good sign. And nothing on there. We really did get everything. Also, the car, 26% on the frame, and I bought it for just under 4,500. I'm going nice and cheap on this one. I'm going 500. 600, not far off. Now, this is modded in by Payne. We all know this one. We've seen it before. We'll just quickly jump in the shop. There are only 2 pages. A couple of car part ones. Front bumper. 2 different front bumpers on there. I think we've got front bumper B. Front clamshell. We're going to go for front clamshell C with a little spoiler. Then we got the badges. Ours is an Abarth, so we're going to go for either one of these two. I think I like this one a little bit better. Just the doors and windows. Nothing can be changed on there. 2 different headlight options. Tail light. Rear bumper, there's 2 options. There's the full rear bumper or just the bit that I've got on there. Rear window, body panel window, headlights. 3 different trunks, but ours has got a trunk removal and the windscreen. That is everything on this one. It isn't bad at all. We just need to get ours back together, looking fancy, before we head over to the paint shop to check out the livery I've created. Here we are then. Let's get this beautiful little Fiat 500 all back together and over to the paint shop. We've got the hood. What have we got? We got a front bumper down here. Then the front end we've gone for is the Abarth badge, like we said we were going to. Went for the headlights B with the lovely little yellow indicators on them, dotted around just a little bit further, just to make it a little bit more interesting. In with the windshield, clamshell C, which has got the rear spoiler on the back as well there. Then we got a lovely little door in there. Let's just get that window in and this window in. Come around to the back for the rear window. Then we've got the rear bumper just down here and some rear lights just in there. In you go. Another window. Then we got the little door plus another window. No mirrors on the Fiat 500, just not on this one at all. I think that's everything apart from the license plate. Let's just get the interior in. Forever pressing the wrong button there. Let's try that again. Steering wheel I kept as it was. The bandit wheel looks pretty good in there. And I swapped the seats to seat 3 leather A. In you go. Hopefully get some two-tone, a bit of colour scheme on there a little bit later. Now that should be everything. License plate. Let's just get that. In you go. We've gone for VM Abarth on this one today, being that it is a Virtual Mechanic Abarth edition. Have we got everything? 100%, 100%, 100%. Fantastic. Let's get this little Fiat 500 into the paint shop and fresh coat of paint. This is what I've gone for today. This sort of old school baby blue with the white stripes on the livery and the white checkerboard roof there. Looking pretty cool. A couple of other tiny little details. We've got a Virtual Mechanic logo just above the Abarth logo at the front. And then down the back, we've got a black and white Abarth logo with the Virtual Mechanic logo above it. That's it. We've obviously done the centre bit of the steering wheel in the blue as well to match in with the dashboard, and the centre parts of the seats also in that blue. Looking pretty awesome in there. Nothing much in here at the moment. Very blue in there, so we're going to have to colour some of the bits. What have we got in here? Fuel tank, battery, and the ECU. So just the fuel tank can be coloured in there. Probably go for either a white or a black on that one. And then that engine is just going to be blue, black, and white. Looking absolutely incredible in there, along with a lot of the suspension. And I'm unsure what we're going to do with the wheels yet. So let's get on with it. Let's get it back on the lifter. Let's get everything painted and start getting it back together. That's everything painted. Time to get our V12 Abarth Fiat back together. We'll start with the shocks as normal. We've got blue shocks, white springs, and white caps at the front. Looking pretty sweet on there. And then down the back, we've got blue shocks, white springs with a blue cap. It will all make sense in a little while. Trust me. Let's start getting this all on. In we go with the front. Now, we've got a steering rack that's in a white and a sway bar in a blue, but no front cross member in there at all. Front steering knuckle is also in the blue, with the inner tie rod in the blue and the outer tie rod in a little white, just finishing it off there. Lower suspension arm just in the white at the front. Looking pretty good. White and blue. I'm loving that combination. And the shock we've already seen. It's got a white cap. I will show you why in just a little while when we get up top. Sway bar end link in the black. It went a very metallic blue, and it wouldn't go white because that just comes out chrome. Then we got the knuckle cover in a white with the wheel hub in a black for the same reason as the sway bar end link. The hub in there, and then let's get the brake disc on. We've got a brake pad there. We've got a lovely wheel hub just in the white to finish it off, and the brake caliper in the blue. Looking pretty good on there. Quite pleased with that. We will just quickly jump away for a second, and I'll show you the top of that front shock. Why am I stuck there? Wow, that car's got a bit of a reach. There we go. Just pokes up through the top into the engine bay. That's definitely not an engine bay, but it is a bay nonetheless. Let's get it back up and let's move on to the rear and get this rear end all together. Ready to drop in that beast of a V12 in there. Looking insane. Knuckle, same as the front, in a blue. And then the bottom and upper suspension arms are both in the white. Hence why the spring down the back here has got a blue cap on it instead of a white cap on it at the front. In you go. Let's just get that shock in there. Looking pretty sweet. Then we got the knuckle cover. Then we've got the rear wheel hub in the black. Same as the reason as the front. Hub bearing in. Brake disc on. We do have a drive axle to go in a little bit later on. Brake pad, and then that lovely blue brake caliper just to finish that one off there. Looking pretty sweet. We do also have this large intercooler in the engine bay. That's in a very metallic-y blue. It hopefully will still look pretty good. And if we just go down the front here, We've got the fuel tank in a white with a blue full fuel pump in there, looking pretty sweet. I'm going to get on and get the other side all finished in a minute. Let's just set it back down. Let's have loads of area on this. There's that big old intercooler in there, absolutely massive. And if we just pop the hood, we've got the fuel tank in the white with the pump in the blue. There we go. I need to get it back up in the air, get the suspension all back together. We'll get the engine bay sorted, then we'll go and build that beautiful V12 engine. Looking beautiful in the blue and white there. That looks absolutely fantastic. Very pleased with that. But let's get on and get the engine bay all sorted. There isn't much to this one. We've got a wishy-washy reservoir. We've got a battery. And we've got our stage 3 Type B ECU in there. If we just jump down the back, obviously the large intercooler's already in. The only thing we've got left to go in here is the air filter. I've done that one in a white. Get the air filter in. We'll get the cover on with some lovely blue clips. If I could find them on the white. One there, one there. Let's swing around to the other side. One there and one. There it is, just down there. In you go. That's the engine bays all finished off. Nice and easy on this one. Only a few parts. But let's go and build that beast of a V12. We go into the other room. I've already got it on the block. No black on the block this time. This is officially a white, but it doesn't come out white on there. It comes out of a silver with some of the accents in white, which looks pretty good. And then we got a white oil pan underneath, just finishing it off. But let's start getting it together. Up we go. Let's just get the first of the engine heads on there in a blue. In you go there, looking pretty good. Let's get you all bolted up. We'll get the other one on as well. In you go. And then we'll move on to a few little pieces down the front before we get all the innards in here done. So we've got the power steering pump just in a little white down here, looking pretty good. We've got the oil filter in a blue. It's a much darker blue, but the rim edge is the same light blue there. If we just swing over to here, we've got the alternator in a lovely little black. It was too metallic on the blue, even more metallic than this. So we went black, and obviously it won't go white. We've got an idle roller in the black, and we need to carry on with just up here in just a minute. Before we do that, we'll just get this fuel filter on in the blue, finishing it off there. Now let's get up here, because we've got 2 camshafts to go in. We've got 12 spark plugs either side, 24 altogether, and 5 camshaft caps either side to go in as well. So I'm going to crack on with that, get all of that done, and then we'll start moving on with this engine. There we go. That's all that taken care of. Let's move back down the front and get all of the front of this engine all finished off. We've got 2 cam gears to go on. On you go and on you go. Then a timing chain. In you go there with a lovely little timing gear just down there to finish that piece off. We've got white covers up on the engine heads, looking sweet. In you go and in you go over there. And then we've got a lovely blue timing cover on the front just to finish it off. This is where you can really see the difference between the metallic that the engine heads go on the outside and the normal blue. You can also see it on the sides, but it blends in just a little bit. So let's carry on down the front here. We've got the crankshaft pulley in a black. In you go. We've got a lovely little idle roller just in a black down there as well. Water pump in the white, looking very good. On you go there. Let's get the front all finished off. We got water pump pulleys, both in black. Just on there. Some of these bits paint weird. I won't say weird. They still go like a blue, like the bolts go all blue. It just leaves a slight blue tinge on this. So I find it better if we just make it all black and black it out. Then we got a black 17 belt on the top there with a white belt tensioner just to finish that off. Looking pretty sweet. Let's move on to the intake manifold. This is in a white on there. Looking very, very good. Bolt you up. And then we've got a lovely little cover in the blue just on top of that. Then we go down to the head covers. These are both in a blue, and there are a lot of bolts on these, so I'm just going to get them in very quickly. There we go. That's both of the head covers on in the blue, looking very, very good. We just nip down to the side. We got the coil packs. They're also in the blue coming off of there, looking pretty good. Then we got a fuel rail up here, which is also in the blue, and a throttle just here in the blue, finishing that piece off. Then we need to get these turbochargers in. These are in white. Yes, the rest of the exhaust system is also going to be in white. If we swing around and get the other one on, because we need to do that before we can put the other manifold on. On we go. In manifold? I meant intercooler. Let's get you on in the white. Looking very good on top of that engine there. Very pleased with that. We do have a couple more pieces to go. We've got a lovely little cover just up here in the carbon fiber with blue fins, and another cover on the other side. And that is this beautiful turbocharged V12 ready to be dropped back in our beautiful Fiat 500 Abarth. Let's go get this turbocharged V12 dropped in our little Fiat 500. I say dropped in, squeezed in, slammed in, however you want to say it. But let's get it put in there. In you go. It shouldn't really fit, and it really doesn't. So let's take a look. There she is. Not fitting at all in a very retro Abarth style. I love that. Absolutely. And that looks beautiful as well. I'm very pleased with how that's come out on the colour. Like, even that large intercooler back there, off colour as it is, you can't really tell that much. It looks absolutely fantastic. Incredibly pleased with that. Let's get it up in the air. Let's get the gearbox in, the starter in, and the two drive axles in, ready to go. Over we go, nip round to here. We got the gearbox in that lovely blue in there, looking fantastic. The starter's just in a nice little white, just to finish that one off a little bit. And then the two drive axles are both in black. I nearly left myself in a terrible position for that. And I forgot the rear wheel hub bearing at the back here. So we'll get you in as well with that drive axle. There we go. And then just to finish it off, we'll throw the last two pieces in. The two exhaust pieces in you go. In the white, looking beautiful. We've obviously got the wheels to do. Top up some liquids, but not too many. But let's get it back down. That exhaust sticking out of there looks beautiful. Very pleased with that. It almost blends in with our little racing stripes we've got going on there. Very pleased with that. I'm going to get the liquids topped up. Some windows tinted. The wheels done. I still don't know what I'm going to do with them, but I'll figure that one out in a minute. And then we'll get this beautiful little Fiat outside in the sun. Here we are then, all finished with Payne's Fiat 500. Our own version of it, the VM V12 Abarth edition. Or something along them lines. It looks absolutely beautiful. I love this car. It has come out so well. That V12 is absolutely insane. Stuffed into the back of this little one. Just absolutely beautiful. But let's talk about these rims. These are the Rim Retro 1B. I've stuffed on these. They do stick out a little bit further than the body. It was intended to be like that, just a little bit wider. We just don't have wide flares to put on these ones, which is a bit of a shame. But these front, they're only a 13-inch rim. Just a 13-inch rim at the front. We have got white and black on it with the two-tone rims there, which is why we went for the B option. And it is 135 width at the front, literally the smallest tyre you can put on it, with a 30 profile on there. Looking very good. Down at the back, it's just an ever so slight bit wider is the only difference. Still a 13-inch rim, but it's a 225 width, 225 width. With a 30 profile on there. They still look absolutely great. This thing is a little beast, and I absolutely love it. You've got the shock sticking up through there, the white fuel tank with the blue fuel pump in there, and then that beast of an engine at the back with the large intercooler on there as well, and all of the suspension in blue and white with a few splashes of black and a little bit of carbon here and there. Looking beautiful. Let's jump inside. Check out my beautiful blue and black seats on there. Very blue and black on the interior. Blue and white on the exterior. Looking good in here. Excellent job, Payne. It looks beautiful as always. But let's get this one started up and hear that turbocharged V12 whine. Nothing special on the tick over, but let's give it some gas because we know this one's going to sound good. That beautiful V12 whine mixed with those twin turbos whistling away. Sounds absolutely beautiful. But let's get this little Fiat 500 onto the dyno, see what our horsepower is today and what our drag rating is. Here we are then on the dyno with the Fiat 500 Virtual Mechanic Abarth V12 edition. 435 factory horsepower from that V12 engine. What have we added today and what is our drag rating? Let's take a look. A gain of 472 horsepower, a whole brand new engine on top of that at 109%, bringing our measured horsepower up to 907, just under 1,000. I still think this one's going to be pretty good with a drag rating of A, 999. The tiny Fiat 500 with the epic drag rating. That's pretty good. Let's go and see the gearbox tuning setup for today. There it is, a 2.33 ratio with 80 kilometers an hour in first gear, up to 423 kilometers an hour in sixth gear. I've knocked a gear off. This one does come with 7. Didn't need all of them. ECU is fully tuned and no carburetor. So let's get over to the drag strip. Let's see if the Fiat 500 can take on the Unicorn Army. Here we are back at Juneway Stripe, the drag strip with our tiny little Fiat 500 with a beast of a V12 stuck in it. So, King of the Sands, 1 mile, Obviously A-Class. Pay the entry fee. And who have we got today? There is a few unicorns. I was correct about the unicorn army. Country Thang up there in a Skyline GTR R34 drag. Pretty good. Multiply in a unicorn. Nice to see ya. Who else have we got? Killer. Nice to see you in an R34 drag Skyline again. And that's it. Our first race is against the Nissan Skyline GTR R34 drag. Can our lonely little Fiat 500 smash a Nissan Skyline? That drag edition Skyline is very good looking. I just hope it hasn't quite got the top end, because our Fiat 500 definitely doesn't quite have the top end. So let's get inside and see if we can beat that beast of a car. Let's go. Off the line, into second, into third. Very quick changes into fourth. It does rub a little bit, and into fifth. Where are we? Well, we are in the lead still at the moment, so that's a good sign. As we change into sixth gear, still retaining the lead. We are pulling left ever so slightly. Let's straighten up a bit. Are we going to beat our first competitor with the drag Skyline? We've crossed the line. I'm pretty confident we did beat it. We did indeed. An 8.634 to the quarter of a mile. That's not anywhere close to what I got to in any of my testing. I was early nines even, sorry. But there we go, and a 21.516 to the 1 mile with a top speed of 368 kilometers an hour from our little Fiat 500. Absolutely incredible. Demolished the drag edition Skyline. Let's get into the next one. So, Country Thang, you are still in, along with Multiply. You are also still in your respective cars. We're up against the first unicorn for us of the day in the V4. Let's see if we can beat that one. It is a beautiful looking car, the V4 Unicorn, but they just come up so often on the drag strip, a little too often for my liking. So let's see if we can beat this one in our tiny little Fiat 500. Inside, let's get going. Off the line. Come on, you little beauty. Into second, into third. It's started to pull away. Now it's dropped back a little bit. I'm very, very pleased with that. Go away, Unicorn. We want to win. Come on. No, I don't know. Are we going to? It seems to be catching, and we're pulling away again by the looks of that. Thank the Lord. Let's get across the line, hopefully, and beat this unicorn. Is this going to be a better time? 8.850. Sadly, not a better time than our first run with 8.634. Top speed is the same, and a 21.746 was a little slower, but we did beat the unicorn only just to the quarter of a mile, and then a little bit more to the 1 mile. Still pretty good. Let's get into the next one. Sadly, Multiply got knocked out, but Country Thang in the Skyline Drag Edition is still there. Against the Dodge Charger 777, that might be a little bit difficult. We are against another Unicorn version 4, so let's just get into it and see if we can beat this one. It looks exactly the same as last time, but is the engine? Who knows? Let's find out. Let's get back inside. Let's get going. Off the line, thank you. Into second, into third, into fourth, with a little bit of bumping and grinding, into fifth. I've pulled away, I don't believe it. I've made the same mistake as last time. Can we still retain it and win? Hopefully we can. We'll go into sixth. There she goes. Come on, we need to catch back up. We want to win. I want to be in the final. It looks like we've got it. That's definitely not going to be our best run, though. An 8.795. Actually slightly better than last time, even with my big mistake to the quarter of a mile. The mistake must have come just after that with a 22.249 to the 1 mile. Literally only just beating out the unicorn there. That was lucky after my mistake. Both identical reaction times as well. That's pretty good. But there we go. Let's get into the final. Let's see who we're up against. Oh, sadly, the Dodge Charger 777 knocked Country Thang out, but it is our final competitor today. Can the Fiat 500 Virtual Mechanic Abarth V12 beat out the whole competition and this final Dodge Charger 777? Let's go! Sadly, I'm an idiot and stopped recording just before our race with the Dodge Charger 777, which we did lose, as you can see. It wasn't our best time either. 8.789 to the quarter of a mile versus an 8.4. This car is insane. We will be doing one very, very soon. Bit of a shame we lost to it. Bit of a shame we don't have the clip. But let's head back. Let's collect our winnings. Let's see if the Fiat 500 will make it onto the top 10 speed award. And let's get ready to say goodbye. There we go, 5,250 because we didn't win the last race. Sadly, that Dodge Charger 777 is absolutely insane. It is a missile, an absolute rocket. Yeah, we weren't going to beat it. Fair play. Let's collect our winnings, 5,250 minus our entry fee. Let's get back to the garage. Let's say goodbye. Well, there we have it. Less than 1,000 horsepower and eighth on the speederboard, knocking our Valsen off, which is a bit of a shame. But 8.634 seconds to the quarter mile. Very impressive from the little Fiat 500. 21.516 to the 1 mile. Officially the slowest 1 mile on the board there, and 368 kilometers an hour. Also the slowest speed, 229 miles per hour. But it has been a great. I've really enjoyed this one. We built this one at the request of Cole Green. A few months ago, you asked us originally to do a school bus. I said there isn't one in. We had a little chat and we came up with the V12 stuffed inside the Fiat 500. You did want it like Luigi from Cars. That isn't really my style. So we switched up a little bit and I made my own livery. So this one is for you, Cole. There she is, all beautiful, all finished, looking absolutely fantastic with that beast of a V12 in there. 8th on the speederboard is absolutely incredible. Now, I am planning to release this one. I'm obviously going to ask Payne's permission first before I do it. So maybe you shall see this one very soon in the Steam Workshop if you want to do this one yourself, along with this beautiful little livery. Looking absolutely fantastic. Let's talk some facts and figures about our little Fiat 500. I bought this little beauty. That's the wrong button. It's all going wrong. I want to put it in that mode. There we go. I bought this little beauty for 4,456, and I could have sold it for a lovely little profit of 747 if we would have sold it there and then at the beginning, but we didn't do that. We spent a further 64,400 modifying, painting, upgrading, getting this beautiful Fiat 500 to where you see it now, looking absolutely incredible with that beast of a V12 stuffed in there. That suspension all in blue and white, looking beautiful. Our total spend is 68,856. Now, I'm not going to sell this Fiat 500. I am going to keep it. I've been debating it all day whilst making this. We are going to keep it. But let's see if we could have made a profit on this beautiful little VM Abarth V12 Fiat 500. We did get it from the junkyard. It is all 100% finished now. Now with 907 horsepower, a gain of 109%. We did pretty good on that one. But our total spend at 68,856. Can we make a profit? 98,069 is what our sale price is. That's pretty good. Leaves us with a decent profit of 29,213. Plus our winnings from the drag strip leaves us with actual profit of 33,463. But we aren't going to sell this one. We are definitely going to keep it. Probably, sadly, we're going to say goodbye to this one because it got knocked off the speederboard. No, we're not really. Probably going to have to be Delilah's going to have to go because I love this. This is still the speederboard champion. This is very recent. So Delilah's going to go and the little Fiat 500 is going to sit in the place of Delilah when we move on. What have we got up next? You've already seen it sitting there on the tow truck. This is the McLaren F1. We've done one of these before. This is a new one. This is the McLaren F1 wide body. This has got 233,000 kilometers on it. Very, very high mileage on this one. We did get it from the junkyard. It's not in awful condition. I mean, a lot of it is, but the frame at 31% is actually pretty good. Does have in it the V12 double overhead cam MRN engine with 627 factory horsepower. And did we get a good deal? We did, by quite a bit as well. I bought it for 1.17 million and I could sell it for 1.415 million, making a profit of 244,800. This is going to be for next time. Before we leave, I just want to say I hope you all had a wonderful, wonderful Christmas. Got everything you wanted and are still enjoying the Christmas festivities with the family. One thing we have a tradition in my household is turkey pie on Boxing Day, so I'm looking forward to that one. That's it for today, though. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you did enjoy today's episode. If you did, please consider subscribing, sharing the video far and wide, leaving me a like, leaving me a comment, let me know what you think of today's build or what we should do with that beast of a wide body McLaren F1. Do let me know in the comments, but thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful day, whatever you're getting up to, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.